Think back to when you were a kid. Did you ever misbehave? How did the adults in your life respond to your behavior? Most likely by disciplining you. Simply put, discipline is training someone to obey a certain code of behavior. Discipline in a school setting is defined as the business of enforcing classroom standards and building patterns of cooperation in order to minimize disruption and maximize learning. There are many different types of strategies for using discipline, such as corporal punishment, exclusionary punishment, or newer methods such as progressive discipline. There have been debates throughout Canada's history on the most effective and appropriate forms of using discipline in a classroom. Looking back in time, what comes to mind when you hear of historical discipline in schools? Most likely some form of corporal punishment like the strap, paddling, or spanking. Corporal punishment is the painful, intentionally inflicted physical penalties administered by a person in authority for disciplinary purposes. While education has been heavily characterized by physical punishment, teachers were encouraged to find a balance between using corporal punishment as a threat and actually striking a child. Arguably, corporal punishment was appropriate in some instances as students were punished for wrong actions and not for low-quality work, but this left a bit of a gray area of what the teacher considered right behavior. Corporal punishment was often used as a quick-fix solution and can cause physical harm as well as emotional and behavioral side effects. These effects could lead to students rebelling, dropping out of school, or having the mindset that violence solves their problems. Residential schools used corporal punishment to force cultural assimilation, and while students were abused in varying ways, physical punishment was the most common technique of correcting behavior. In a current context, corporal punishment was only nationally banned in 2004 as a result of a Supreme Court case. While provinces like BC had banned straps in 1973, it was not until 2004 that Alberta was on board. Under the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 43, it is stated, "Every school teacher, parent, or person standing in the place of a parent is justified in using force by way of correction towards a pupil or child, as the case may be, who is under his care, if the force does not exceed what is reasonable under the circumstances." This allows anyone acting in loco parentis to use force against children aged 2 through 12. Take notes, future teachers, because using force is allowed in your classrooms today. However, there are 3 different requirements that are necessary to meet in order to justify using force within your class.